Starting lineup for Hoban. Number 15, Parker Hawkinson, center field. Batting second, number 22, first baseman Andrew Farhoff. Batting third, number 9, left fielder Jordan Keegan. Batting fourth, number 23, right fielder Michael Chavallo. Batting fifth, number 11, third baseman Nate Shepard.
Archbishop Hoban and the Massillon Tigers getting set for the district championship game here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. The captain.
Designated hitter, number 6, Massillon Jennings. For second baseman, Blake. Finisher number 28, catcher, Blake Benson. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor America and respect for those who have served or are serving this country to defend our freedoms and promote respect, equality, and world peace for all, we are ready to stand and join in singing our national anthem.
Baseball fans, sit back, relax, buckle in. Stark Media Team's got you covered here for the district championship from the captain, Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. Welcome in, everyone, as the Massillon Tigers and Archbishop Hoban, the Knights, get set to square off for a chance to advance to the regionals next week in the Ohio High School Athletic Association Baseball State Tournament. I'm TJ Downing, joined by Jamie Fausnight. And as we get set for this matchup and we get ready to give you a breakdown here before the action gets underway, we want to remind you that these broadcasts on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel are presented by Hilsher Clark Electric Company and the Eagles FOE 190 in downtown Massillon. All right, Jamie, I'll tell you what, the first thing that sticks out to me about both of these teams is the history, right? So we know about everything that's gone on with the Tigers and the Knights on the football field. They met in the state tournament this past fall. They've had some history there over the past couple years. They met on the basketball court in the state tournament in the winter. And now they're going to meet here in the district championship. And boy, it looks like it is going to be exciting as the Hoban Knights will be your home team. They come into this game 16-9 on the season. They defeated Chardon. A little get-back game after Chardon would defeat them in the state championship game just a year back. So the Knights are able to get that one back there 9-4. The Tigers, though, got a chance to get eyes on them the other day. A strong performance by Matt McGeorge, who will be heading to Mercyhurst University next fall. Boy, I'll tell you what, a complete game shutout, only gave up 4 hits, and this kid was impressive. A 2-0 victory for the Tigers. You know, and one thing you can really take away when you look at an entire season, the Knights and the Tigers, they scrimmaged. First scrimmage of the season way back in March.
Okay.
You look at Massillon and Jackson last year, they scrimmaged, and Jackson beat the brakes off of them about 17-1, I think it was. But it's a different time of year. These teams have grown up. They've matured. And as we get ready to fire this thing up, man, I'll tell you what are your feelings here is, this is win or go home.
Yeah, you know what? All coaches, no matter what sport, their goal is that their team's competing at the highest level at this point in the season. And, you talked about the history of these two teams. Not only would it be neat to see, not to be biased, but to see a Stark County team like the Massillon Tigers slay the Akron Hoban Dragon here, but not only do it, with a hit right up the middle to start the game, to not only do it, but to do it on their rival's home field. What an exciting opportunity that is for the Massillon Tigers here.
So the Tigers leadoff hitter, Gavin Marceric, the junior 5'11 infielder, he's going to get a leadoff hit here. He'll be on first. And as we look through this order, I'll tell you what, guys that really kind of stepped to the forefront the other day, Tyler Hackenbrack, got a chance to talk to his dad, defensive coordinator on the football team here at Massillon, Tyler Hackenbrack. He is he gets on the bases. He had 3 stolen bases, very active. As you see, number 5, Brennan Crow, he's a senior outfielder, 5'9". He's going to step to the plate here. Your second hitter in the lineup. The Tigers, they want to get on the bases and obviously try and stretch this thing out because they haven't been a great hitting team all season, but pitching has really been at the forefront. Bunt attempt down first base out.
He showed bunt on that first pitch too. It looks like they're going to try and move the runner. They're going to try and get people in scoring position without, having to lean on like a heavy batting team. They're going to do it strategically and move the runners in the spots that they can.
Landon Browning, your starting pitcher for the Knights, a junior right-hander. As we just get things underway here at the captain, want to give a shout out to J.R. Rinaldi, Bogdan, all the guys, Canton City guys that put this deal together here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. Back in my day and your day when we were in high school, it was a privilege. You knew that if you were playing down here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium, it was going to be for a district championship. And some years went by. Stadium got a little bit overgrown. Boy, is this a beautiful facility, Jamie.
It is beautiful. As a matter of fact, before we started, I had to call my mom in the parking lot and tell her, this is honestly to be at Thurman Munson Stadium and call a game is as exciting of anything that we've done together all, since I've started joining with Stark Media. My grandma and my mom used to bring me here to those Akron Canton Indians games. We'd watch Omar Vizquel when he was a young ball player out here on this field. So it's super exciting to be here and be part of it. Oh. Must have tipped that, or I think the runner would have moved. He still showed bunt every pitch.
2-2's your count.
They're trying to play some small ball, move their runner into into scoring position there.
For this Knights team, Jamie, and they've had a great run over the last couple of years. Some really strong players. Shortstop Sean Parnell is down at Cincinnati now. It doesn't seem like it's the same Knights team. But I'll tell you what, anytime you make it to a district championship, you got to give respect to your opponent. And I just feel that this rivalry is really, as you see the pitcher Browning throw it back over there to first. As I mentioned, you can tell the Tigers, when they get on base, they want to take advantage of it because, it's been few and far between. You look at that game the other day against Jackson, all the action was in the first 2 innings. And after that, it was a pitcher's duel. Another bunt attempt. Pull back, you're going to have a full count. Oh, they're going to say he's out. So that was a strike. First out of the inning.
Let's see what they do.
So we'll see Mr. Hackenbrack come to the plate here now, your third hitter. Just a sophomore, 6'1". And, boy, I'll tell you what, I know his big sister's watching. Second team All Big Ten softball player for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Cranking some bombs out of the yard this year. Nice. Is a power hitter. There goes Tyler Hackenbrack. He's going to fire it out there. That'll be out number 2 from your left fielder. He snags it. So 2 outs here in the first.
He hit it hard. He just hit it right at him. The outfielder there only had to take a couple steps to make the play, but it was good, solid contact. You like to see that early in the game.
Tyler, 3 stolen bases the other day. Again, great pitching duel. As we got through the first 2 innings, 2-0 victory for the Tigers. Again, Browning's going to throw it back over to first. As you see Gavin really stretching that lead out.
The umpire calls timeout. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Oh, balk. Move the runner.
Yeah, we had one of those the other day. That went against the relief pitcher for Jackson. Again, it was one of those deals looking for that pickoff move. So we see the Tigers, they're going to try and take advantage of consecutive games here with balks by the pitcher, the opposing pitcher. And now you have Marceric. He's going to move up to second base.
They're keeping him honest over there.
Up at the plate, Matt McGeorge, who we mentioned, a phenomenal game just 2 days ago. He'll be heading to Mercyhurst next year. Boy, was just throwing some absolute gas the other day and had the Polar Bears kind of off center. Jackson was able to get 2 on late in the ball game. We're not able to take advantage of it, and McGeorge worked out of the jam to get that complete game shutout.
Little off-speed pitch there, painted that inside corner for a strike. We got a 1-1 count here.
Your coach for the Hoban Knights, that's Derek Carmichael. If you remember that name locally around here, he's been an assistant for the Jackson Polar Bears, part of the Perry Panther program for a long time. Strike goes past McGeorge. It'll be a 1-2 count. 2 outs here for the Knights. And Carmichael's done a great job here, and obviously Spike Ridgely for the Massillon Tigers, hoping to advance his team to next week into the regionals. Browning will step off the bump.
Yeah, both of these schools take so much pride in their athletics. You know, they compete at a high level in every sport. We watched them in football. We saw the Tigers in wrestling. We saw, you know, I'm sure the basketball teams are good. You know, there's a little shot up the middle. That might score one.
He's going to hold him up third. Nice hit there
Wow.
from Matt McGeorge. Second baseman able to snag that thing before it got into the outfield, or else you would have got that run to come across, Jamie. Gavin Marceric. He's going to stop up at third. So 2 outs, runners on each corner. To the plate will be number 21, Brock Palilli. Beautiful day for baseball here in the city of Canton.
Absolutely. Be huge for the Tigers to get one in here. I imagine they might run that, try to steal second here in this bat.
Ball inside. Nice crowd has started to fill in here at the Captain. Good student section support for the Massillon Tigers. Ball away outside. That'll be a 2-0 count. Scoreless ball game here in the first inning. Top of the first. Hoban will be your home team. Curveball comes in, and there'll be a little chopper down to second base, and Browning able to work out of the jam.
Hey, that's a good start. You don't always have to score. What you need to do is get pressure on them, especially if you're the underdog a bit in this game. You don't want to come out and go 1-2-3 to start the game. That gives you some confidence going out into the field. And I like the start that the Tigers had here.
All right, as we look back here, a little season rewind. Let's take a peek here for the Hoban Knights. As I mentioned, all the way back on March 16th, first scrimmage of the season would be against the Massillon Tigers. They would follow that up with a scrimmage against Lake. But as we got into the regular season, kind of some key wins for them. They would take down Wadsworth, Warren JFK. They lost at Jackson, the Polar Bears, back on April 28th. And you look at another tough opponent they would face, Walsh Jesuit, who is taking on Louisville in the district championship. That was a 15-5 loss back on April 20th. And speaking of Louisville, Hoban would fall to them back on April 8th. So it's kind of been a up and down season for the Knights, but as we know, when you have some of that postseason pedigree that you've experienced over the last couple of years, Jamie, kind of shows itself. Even if you come in maybe 6, 7, 8 tough losses on your schedule, you kind of figure it out once tournament time rolls around.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to lose to really look at yourself in the mirror and decide what needs to fix. You don't. Very few teams ever peak at potential if they go undefeated. That might sound great that they're undefeated, but you may never have saw the best of them. Because they just never had to go back and look themselves in the mirror and make adjustments and put themselves in a different position from time to time. So, losses, as long as, there's good coaching and a good group of kids, a loss is so valuable.
All right, we're going to get a chance here now to see the senior Christian Marsh, 6'1", pitcher, and he loves to throw the junk. So it's going to be a completely different pitching style than what we saw from McGeorge the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. He was throwing a lot of different off-speed stuff.
Counts 1-1 for your batter. That is number 15 at the plate for the Knights, Parker Falkenstein.
Yeah. Watching him warm up. He wasn't just up there trying to throw smoke. Crafty little pitcher.
And as I kind of mentioned, it's hasn't been a rip down the line. That'll stay in. Goes past the third baseman, number 9 for the Tigers. And Falkenstein is going to get in there to second base to lead off with a double for the Knights. So that ball gets past Luke McGeorge, the sophomore, at third base. And Jamie, that thing was ripped so tight down the line. Would be tough for any third baseman to make that play.
Absolutely. But if you're used to being the third baseman when you got a guy who throws off speed pitch, you got to be ready, because the only hits they're going to have is when they stay back on it and they rip it down the line, or they, take it a little deeper. But, you got to be ready when you're sitting down on that on third base or first base if there's lefty at bat when guys are throwing off speed like that.
Great point. Brock Palilli, catcher, he's going to run out there and have a quick conversation with Marsh.
Oh.
And I believe that
I don't know if the batter called time or if the ump called time there, but
it looked like he stepped away, so that pitch won't count. We'll have an even count here as number 22 has stepped to the plate. That is Andrew Karhoff.
That's nasty. It is nasty, that little breaking ball he's throwing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, always tough, especially at the high school level, to be able to stay in there and hang on tight. You see that, though, again, and that was ripped down that third base line. You saw that ball moving, Jamie. And I think Luke McGeorge is going to get that early wake-up call there after that leadoff hit by Falkenstein. So he's going to hug that thing a little bit tighter. He looked a little bit more prepared there. They'll call that foul ball. You're going to have an 0-2 count. Karhoff, a sophomore. He stays on that, and he's going to rip that right up the middle, and that might score Falkenstein. He's coming around. Ball's fired out to the catcher, and he's not going to be able to get it high. And the first run of the ball game goes to Archbishop Hoban as Parker Falkenstein gets driven in by the sophomore Andrew Karhoff, who will be on second base now, and no outs here in the bottom of the first.
Nice little shot into center field. You can't go up there, all the time thinking you're going to hit it over the fence when the guy's not throwing gas. It takes too much power to drive a ball like that. That was just nice, clean swing, drove it right into the open part of center field. Stretched a double. They're off and running here.
Ball one. As number 9, Jordan Keeveman, another sophomore, comes to the plate. Your third hitter in the lineup. Left-handed batter. Marsh trying to look back
Again.
the runner, and as you said, the ump, he's going to step away from that.
Yeah, I think it was the ump both times. I don't think that it was the batter either times.
I didn't see anything moving out of the batter's box there. I think maybe just the amount of delay as Marsh was trying to look back. Karhoff on second base. So a 1-0 count from Marsh. Fires it in again, and that'll be a foul ball, 1-1. Some of your assistant coaches on this Hoban team: John Horniak, Isaac Wiley, Hayden Knox, Max Wilson, and your student manager, Andrew Haas. They're going to try and fire that one back there and work on Karhoff at second base. He'll get back there in time.
It was a nice move, but he made it by a mile. You know, like to see him pull it with a little more surprise when he's got more of a lead. It was a quick move.
1-0 lead for Hoban as Marsh steps off the mound. Hey, shout out to our boy Cadillac, Cole Miller, listening in to us out in Louisville. Appreciate you tuning in, bud. Big time sports aficionado around the area.
Oh, pass ball
inside, and that's going to get Karhoff over to third base. So still no outs. And Marsh is going to have his work cut out for him here, already trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first. 2-1 count.
I feel like Marsh is a bit off the mark. I've been watching where the catcher's lining up. You know, he's bouncing inside, he's bouncing outside when he's setting up, and his balls have the stuff on it that he wants, but I don't think they're hitting home right now, and I think that's part of why they've driven a couple balls, and he's had a pass ball now.
That one's going to get in there. That one's going to be popped up. Looks like the catcher, number 21, he'll be able to get underneath it for the first out of the inning for the Tigers. That's Palili who got underneath it, the sophomore catcher. You know, the other thing, too, when you really look at pitching, I guess a guy like McGeorge who likes to fire the gas, easier to kind of hit your marks. Mm-hmm. Man, when you're working all that off-speed stuff and breaking ball action, boy, I tell you what, if you're not on it,
absolutely,
to start the game, it could be a long outing for you. And that one looks like it was going to get in there. It's going to be checked, fouled off by number 23 for Archbishop Hoban, Mike Ciavalella.
And, you know, they jumped out on him right away. You know, he probably was a little jittery as it started. And then all of a sudden they get 2 hits. They score a run. You know, a nice little out by the catcher right there might settle him in to finish this inning.
Ball outside, 1-1 count. 1 out for the Tigers, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. 2 hits each for both squads, but damage done by the Knights. So we'll see if Marsh can settle down here, get into a rhythm.
There's
strike
fastball
down the middle.
That's what's fun. You don't need to throw gas if you throw mostly off speed, and then all of a sudden you throw one fastball in there, and those they don't even step for it. It just is by them before they even knew where it was on them.
And that's kind of the cat and mouse game there between pitcher and batter. That one's going to go outside, 2-2 count. Shout out to our sponsors on the ball game this evening: C.H. Vallis and Associates, McNeil & Sons Tree Service, H&H Truck Parts, and Lindsay's Pizza. Marsh.
Catcher's lined up outside. He's going to try and get him to chase one here.
Hearing it from that dugout of the Hoban Knights. Get a little action going. You know, that to me is one of the greatest things about high school baseball, Jamie. If you've ever just been a fan, a spectator in the crowd, listening to both dugouts. Yeah. Some guys like to talk a little chatter. Ball goes out.
Got him.
Oh, he rang him up on the outside of the plate.
That time he hit the mark right there. Catcher lined up outside. You know what? That's the most. I bet that's the most we've seen fastballs at one pitch or one batter.
Wow. Yes, you're right. For Marsh working against, that was your 4th hitter in the lineup, Ciavalella, the junior. He goes down, not swinging. I'll tell you what, you mentioned it. Catcher lining up outside there. He was able to paint that outside edge from my vantage point. And I'm kind of cut right here on that edge. Looked like it was a little off the plate, but I'll tell you what, Marsh is going to take it any day he can when he's trailing 1-0.
Our angle is funky because that called a couple inside when the catcher jumped inside, and I thought it was way inside. So I think it's just our angle a little bit.
Again, lined up on the outside of the dish. 2 balls in a row here for Marsh. 2-0 count, 2 outs, trailing 1-0. The Tigers are here in the bottom of the first. Appreciate everybody tuning in to us live here on our YouTube channel. Shout out to y'all. Hope you're enjoying the game here. Rip shot right over the glove of the shortstop, and that's going to score another run. As we see number 22, Andrew Karhoff, cross over the plate. 2-0 lead now for the Hoban Knights.
Again, great contact. Just put it right in play. No, not like a power swing or anything like that. Just good, solid contact right over the shortstop. Another 2 inches. He's another 2 inches taller. He might have nabbed that.
So a rip shot for Nate Schimmel. Swinging there. He's going to try and take second, and I think he's going to get him out of here.
Wow. I was about to say in mid pitch when I saw him go, like they're gonna try and steal bases on a guy that throws
no doubt about it.
Speed like that. And I was watching the catcher throw him down after in pregame. He did throw one a little high and outside. Then the next ones are right on the money, and he beat him good.
Palilli with the gun.
Brock Palilli
behind the dish.
I'm a fan.
Helping out his pitcher there, Marsh, who gave up 3 hits there in the bottom of the first. Going to be a 2-0 Hoban Knights lead as we head here to the top of the second. And, you mentioned that, Jamie, and I kind of saw that the game the other day where the Tigers were taking on the Jackson Polar Bears. You saw Tyler Hackenbrack. He was taking advantage of the catcher, your starting catcher, Garrett Wright, who was out of the ball game. He was out from behind the plate playing first base because I believe he had a hamstring issue going on. He's heading to Bowling Green next year. Great baseball player, great catcher. But you as a base runner, if you know that the starting catcher who's heading to BG next year is out of the ball game, you're going to try and take full advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Hackenbrack did that with 3 stolen bases, big part of the Tigers getting to this game. So as Jamie mentioned, some of that off-speed work from Christian Marsh didn't help him out a lot there.
You don't see a lot of guys at the higher level that just primarily throw junk. You know, there are their handful. You
get away with it in high school.
Yeah. But you got to be able to pinpoint a couple balls that exactly where it's going to go, and they don't have to be 100 miles an hour. It could just be the one to get the guy chasing.
So to scenarios,
the plate. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Drew Stitt, he's going to head to the plate here, 6'5" senior. Well, you were just getting ready to mention, I think, talking about certain situations.
Certain situations, you got to be able to throw a fastball just because you might want to try and pick somebody off. Your catcher has a cannon. You can utilize him.
Right, and we saw too there, where he was able to ring the, I believe that was the 4-hitter up on the outside of the plate.
Oof, that was
a little jump there.
That was a nice little breaking ball.
So Landon Browning doing his best. Christian Marsh gets a strike past Stitt, 1 count. Top of the second here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. 2-0 lead for Archbishop Hoban. 0-2 count against Drew Stitt.
He's going to junk him again. Yep, he did.
And he got him.
Oh, wow. 3 breaking balls in a row.
So Stitt will go down swinging. 1 out here in the top of the second. And to the plate now for the Tigers, number 9, Luke McGeorge, younger brother of Matt McGeorge, just a sophomore, 5'10". Third baseman. We saw that action earlier there in the bottom of the first. Having to deal with that rip shot down the line.
There's the first fastball of the inning, I think.
Little high, ball 1. McGeorge, your 7-hitter in the lineup. Boy, and I'll tell you what, they're going to call that a ball right there. And that looked like the same exact pitch that Christian Marsh was able to ring his batter up on. So, yeah, that's our vantage point here, man. I'll tell you what, 2-0 count here for Luke McGeorge. He's going to work it to a 3-0 count. So the Tigers, again, just looking to try and get somebody on base here, man. Try and work out of this, the hole that you've dug yourself in the first inning. Top second here, 3-0 count. McGeorge at the plate. Strike's going to go by him.
My coaches back in the day when I played didn't really love it when I had a 3-0 count because I was very aggressive. I knew that he had to try real hard to put it over the plate. Yeah, I like that. Oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, they called that one a strike. I thought that he was on his way to first there.
Oh, my. Well, that's going to hit the outside top corner of the zone. So that's going to work a full count against Luke McGeorge, 1 out, and Hump is going to call time there again.
The two most important times that a guy has to throw a strike is when it's a 0-0 count and then when it's 0-3. So why not be aggressive in those spots? Oh, he rung him.
Oh,
he's going to say the pit that he swung. I think he's saying that he swung.
So Luke McGeorge is down. That'll be the second out of the inning.
They have to keep some momentum. They need, even if they don't score, they got to put pressure on Hoban. They can't send Hoban right back to the plate with a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Riding that hot hand. Landon Browning looking for that outside edge, and
we can't tell here.
Ball 1.
That looked like a strike too.
A lot of times in high school baseball, the official behind the plate, as we see that one fouled right back towards us, and courtesy of the Beam, courtesy of the Ironworkers Local 501, going to save us here from coming through this glass window.
I'll tell you, I went from cool as a cucumber, ready to catch it. As soon as it hit that beam, I'm like, I'm out of here.
1-1 count. That one's going to go tight, make it 2-1 count against number 7, your first baseman, Chase DePlane, the senior. You see a lot of umpires behind the dish in high school ball. If they feel that batter's looking for the walk,
right?
If it's a little bit off, they might ring it up. So shot right up there to the shortstop. He will fire it over to first base and get to playing out. So 1-2-3 inning for Landon Browning. And as you mentioned, Jamie, really not what you want after coming off a 2-0 lead or trailing 2-0, trying to get some type of work against Browning. Hoban going to come right back up to the plate here and see if they can't tack something on.
I don't care what sport you're a part of and how you're trying to win the game, the match, whatever. It's about knowing where the momentum lies and where you can steal momentum. And, there's times where you have to know as a coach and as the leader on the team or the kid or anybody, when you got it and you need to circle the wagons, get everybody calm down, take a breath. They're down 2. That's, we're in the second inning. There's no reason to panic, yet or anything like that until you start to get into that quicksand, if you will, where the more you struggle, the more you sink,
right.
Or the more you fight, the more you sink, So that's when coaching comes in, is you recognize your team in a scenario like that. And that's when you bring the group together. Maybe in baseball, you crack a couple jokes with them and relax them, or in football, maybe you grab them by the face mask and jack them up and get them excited. But it's about the momentum of where you are in the situation, and right now, Hoban has all the momentum. I think that without question, if they score in this inning, there needs to be a trip to the mound, bring the guys in, talk to them.
Yep. Hey, and maybe that what we talked about here in the open, a little added pressure for the Massillon Tigers, knowing that this thing is kind of built into a small rivalry, not maybe just in baseball. A lot of it had to do with football, but the fact that the Tigers have now faced in 3 consecutive seasons, fall, winter, and spring, Archbishop Hoban in postseason play, baseball team wants to kind of give back a little bit as we see a rip shot right past the shortstop, number 13 for the Tigers out there. Gavin Marceric just goes right off his right-hand side.
I'll tell you what, it's funny, when we sit where we're sitting, they hit the ball and it doesn't look like it's moving that fast, but you can tell how fast it's moving when you can see how little the shortstop moved before the ball was past him.
Right.
Like that ball was on him. That was moving quick.
So Zach Zimmerman able to get the leadoff hit for Hoban.
Oh,
little chopper is
going
to go foul. That brings number 7, Leo Wilson, to the plate in the 7 hole. You kind of feel that one there. You just let that thing get out of there because you saw Zimmerman. He got a big jump. So 0-1 count.
TJ, let me ask you, is this whole field AstroTurf?
Yes, it is.
I noticed I watched one of my first games ever with an AstroTurf infield the other day over at Lake Center Christian. And I noticed that when kids slide, it slows them down.
Yes.
The first time I saw it, it's a big difference. I wonder on a regular infield if that bunt stays inbounds. It bounces on the the little rubber things in the turf there, because that was a pretty nice bunt.
Ball goes outside off the plate. It'll be a 1-2 count against Leo Wilson. 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second for Archbishop Hoban. Home of the McKinley Bulldogs here, Zach Zelmer and his crew, and as we mentioned, everybody who was a part of
Sat him down
doing this renovation here. Phenomenal job. As you mentioned, Marsh, he's able to take down Leo Wilson for the first out of the inning. That'll bring Browning to the plate. The junior, sport number 24. 4 hits here early in the ball game for Hoban.
Yeah, TJ, speaking of Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium, as a kid growing up in Starr County, there were like 3 venues that stand out. Everybody knows, as when we were kids, it was Fausnight Stadium, now known as Tom Benson Stadium, and obviously Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, but the hidden gem, Thurman Munson Stadium that hosted the Akron Canton Indians for all those years. And it's just such a neat place, and it's such a neat opportunity for the kids to play here with their season on the line and all that.
So there was a pickoff attempt there by Marsh, trying to get Zimmerman, working him back closer towards first base, as Browning now with a 1-1 count, 1 out here for the Tigers in the bottom of the second. 2-0 lead for Hoban, as Marsh working with the catcher there, kind of shaking it off, nods it down, fires it outside. That'll be a ball, 2-1 count. Yeah, it's an iconic name, Jamie.
Yeah.
And hopefully all the listeners that are starting to tune in here and view and watch this district championship game, hopefully one of them is from Cooperstown. You need to put Thurman Munson in Cooperstown. Please get that done as soon as possible.
It was my grandmother's favorite athlete. Well, she had a few. But Thurman Munson, Canton guy, she was always, I heard stories my whole life about Thurman Munson being the captain of the New York Yankees and how his dad used to sit him in front of the garage door and hit rockets at him in his catcher's gear. Dad would go to jail nowadays. And, back then, your son becomes good enough to have a stadium named after him how many years later. But it's definitely, he's an iconic athlete. He was a captain with, you look at the players that were on his team.
List. Look at the list of all-time captains.
Yeah.
2-2 count here for Landon Browning, the starting pitcher for
double
Hoban.
play.
He fires it to Marceric.
This is where you steal momentum right here.
And you get it there at first. So turn 2 for Christian Marsh, as Jamie mentioned, trying to steal that momentum. That could be a good shift here as the Tigers get ready to go to the plate. And the top of the third, trailing 2-0 here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. Yeah, as we talk about the captain and all that he did. And, there's certain things in regards to Cooperstown. I know there's been rules that you had to play a certain amount of years, and we all know the tragedy that struck the Munson family. And, if you hadn't had a chance yet, stop out and see our guy Mike Munson, Thurman's son, out there at Tugboats over at Meadow Lake Golf Course, golf and swim over there. Stop over and patronize our guy, Mike Munson. He's supported us here at Stark Media for a long time. Great guy, does a ton for the community. Great baseball player in his own right over there at Glen Oak, playing for Joe Gilhausen. Was, I believe, graduated right before they ended up winning those back-to-back state championships. So he's a great player there alongside guys like Troy Butler and Corey Baker, and then usher in the Musey brothers and Coach Gilhausen's son, Alan Gilhausen. They just had that run there of back-to-back state championships for the Glen Oak Golden Eagles. And Glen Oak would fall to Louisville the other day, but they just got their first piece of a Federal League title, and I think it's been since 2011. So shout out to my former teammate, classmate, friend Ray Frisbee, getting it done there. He was a player for Coach Joe Gilhausen. Wants to kind of live up to that standard. And I'll tell you what, you talk about iconic coaching names. In all of sports around this area, Joe Gilhausen is one that pops out to you.
Yeah, that was my era when they won those back-to-back titles. I played high school football against the Musey brothers and, Derek Fox and all those guys. You want to talk about a group of athletes. This is a 5'4" defensive end with, with Adrian Culler and Derek Fox in the backfield, and one of the
Man.
Musey brothers out there. One of the Museys was the quarterback. The other was the. Well, I'll tell you what. I learned fast.
No doubt. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You think about Eric Musey, great baseball player, went on to be a star safety for Bucknell and does a phenomenal job as athletic director up there at Green High School. So shout out to Eric. Always takes care of us anytime we're in attendance up there. Love going up to Green High School, their campus, and all that they're doing. Shout out to the Musey brothers. Their dad, Greg Musey, was one of my coaches, freshman football at Glen Oak. And another strike goes past. Number 1 for the Massillon Tigers. Up at the plate, Xavier Hamad.
He's got some junk in his trunk too. he's throwing some off-speed pitches that are really, really catching the Tigers off guard.
Hamid, one of those RBIs from the other day in that 2-0 victory over Jackson, at the plate now, and he's going to get rung up on the outside of the plate. So, one thing we've kind of seen here, again, we've talked about our vantage point for those that are kind of watching here on our live YouTube stream, that some have been called on the outside of the plate, some haven't, but that one right there is going to sit down the senior, Xavier Hamid, and that'll usher in now number 13, Gavin Marceric. So we're back up to the beginning of the order. That one will go outside, 0-1 count. One out here in the top of the third for the Massillon Tigers as they are trailing 2-0. Gavin able to get a hit the first time up to the plate. That one's going to cut back inside, and they're going to call that a ball. So 2-0, 2-0 count.
That's a pitch that the Tigers have been chasing a little bit. There you go.
Foul ball.
I get a feeling that they they'll throw those breaking balls. If you chase one, they're going to keep them coming at you. You sit back and watch one, you get a ball, the fastball might be coming next. I look for some junk here. Oh, he gave him the gas on that one.
Another foul ball.
Oh, nice catch.
Get right up. Able to stay inside the stadium. I'll tell you what, you got to watch. My guy Jimmy out there, who kind of runs everything for Canton City, is the usher, and he said, "Watch where you park, man. You can have some damage done for some of those foul balls inside of this stadium." So Eric's going to be set down.
Wish you'd have texted me that. I didn't think of that. I'm right when you said that. I'm like, I'm parked in a pretty ugly spot.
Crow comes up to the plate. Brennan Crow, the senior outfielder, got a cool little stat, and it was kind of feeling my way through some of those foul balls the other day, is that you see kind of that porch that sits off there of first baseline, where everybody's out there by the picnic tables. Ball 1, 2 outs for the Knights here in the top of the third. You can get some balls come screaming down there, and we had a couple shots. I was taking some video, and I was kind of trying to keep one eye on the batter at the same time.
Ooh. Called strike. That's really seemed like
1-1 count.
I hear some fans that weren't very happy with that.
They were not. I think they're going to start getting on this umpire. Another strike goes past Brennan Crow. Count will be 1-2. 2 outs. Working against the Tigers here, looking to get something, as we talked about that momentum, Jamie. And we see the senior step into the box here, trying to get something going for the Tigers here in the top of the third, trailing 2-0. Ball's going to go away outside, 2-2 count. And so as I was sitting out there on that porch, one of the Massillon Tiger fans kind of informed me here, out of the 9 seniors on this Massillon Tiger team, all of them have a roster spot on a college team next year.
Really?
Pop up to the shortstop. He'll be able to get underneath at third out of the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Archbishop Hoban up 2-0. All 9 guys, whether you talk about a guy like Matt McGeorge, who's a full scholarship guy going to Mercyhurst, and similar to with wrestling, right? Only a certain amount of scholarship. So a lot of times you see them get broken up, maybe a half, maybe a partial, a quarter scholarship to be able to do something. But in some capacity, whether it's full, partial, all 9 of these seniors for the Massillon Tigers will be playing collegiate baseball. Pretty cool little deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sports like that don't just have, you can't earn a full ride scholarship in high school. It's very hard. You have to earn it when you get there.
Yep. And as we know, the big 2, right? Football and basketball at universities around the country. A lot of scholarships reserved for those two sports. And you get a university like Ohio State that's got, I think at the time when I was there, 36 varsity sports. Now all 34 that aren't football and basketball work off of the basketball and football revenue.
Absolutely.
And so then you start to chop up some of those scholarships. And I thought it was interesting talking with you during wrestling season. I go back to a guy like Tommy Rollins, who was all everything heavyweight wrestler down there, and you look at a guy like Aiden Faulkner, state champion as a junior for the Perry Panthers at heavyweight, and he's not a full scholarship guy going to Central Michigan, right? Those scholarships get chopped up, and you're lucky to get something. You want to go and compete in Division I, but you hope to maybe get some academic stuff on top of it as well.
Right. And also, it keeps it fair. One team can't have 10 scholarships and the other team have 3.
Right.
So it's a dance that they all have to play, and they have to figure it out and put themselves in the best position to win.
To the plate for Hoban, Masood Jennings, the junior outfielder. He's hitting in the 8 hole. And first 2 pitches from Marsh. Going to go for strike, 0-2 count.
Yeah, the Tigers had their third baseman playing real close up, almost like where a softball player would stand. I don't know if they're maybe anticipating bunt or if he's just a pull hitter. I'm not sure.
Luke McGeorge up in the green as we see ball on third pitch from Marsh. 1-2 count. No outs here as we start this bottom of the third. 4 hits for the Knights, 2 hits for the Tigers.
And
boy, I'll tell you what, he sure did. That ball is going to get past, and that's going to potentially get a double there for Masood. He does. He gets in there to second, standing up. As you mentioned, center fielder came up, tried to make that's Brennan Crow out there.
It's a super tough one when it's hit right at you, when your brain can't see the angle on attack. It's coming right at him. He got in that little spot where do I dive for it or I play the first hop, and it just ate him up a little bit. Just solid contact. He stayed back on that breaking ball and drove it. The Knights certainly are staying back on that breaking ball and driving balls.
That was pretty from our vantage point to watch that kind of unfold. Christian Marsh, he's not going to say that it was pretty, but that thing kind of hung in there. And as Masood kind of stayed on top of it, able to rip a shot into the outfield, and he'll be on second base with no outs. Going to go ahead and make that correction there. I thought he was hitting in the 8 hole. I believe I missed somebody there. So Masood Jennings, the junior outfielder, was hitting in the 9 hole. We're going to get back up to the top of the order. That's Parker Falkenstein, who scored the first run. He's going to rip a shot. It's going to go foul, make the count 1-1.
Yeah, the Knights seem to have locked in a little bit. The first couple times they had contact, they were just wrenching them right down the line like that foul ball. And then the rest of the hits have just been solid shots between center and short and second right into center field.
Marsh looking for the pickoff move. Going to try and work Masood back to second base. He does.
Might even consider bringing your center fielder in a little bit. They're dropping in front of him. Give him, again, me the hitter. You bring that center fielder's in close. I'm gonna try and burn him. You put that pressure on the batter. Maybe that can cause a little bit. You might be able to get one of those short outs. Plus, the batter tries to be a hero, and next thing you know, he strikes out or he pop flies to the short.
They're going to call that ball high from Marsh. That'll make it a 2-1 count. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Archbishop Hoban leading the Tigers 2-0. They're going to look to try and tack something on here as they've got a runner in scoring position, and Parker Falkenstein, up to bat for Coach Derek Carmichael. We talked about at the start of the broadcast, Carmichael spent 4 seasons as an assistant over at Jackson High School, spent a good bit of time over at Perry. And as we know, it's faux pas to say, but it's true. We call it Massillon Jackson and Massillon Perry. So he knows a thing about Massillon.
Absolutely.
I know they don't like hearing that over there, but we'll bring it up once. We won't touch it again. 3-1 count for Parker Falkenstein. Oh, and that one's going to ding him right between, what do we call that in wrestling there? Is that the scapulas?
Yeah.
Caught him in the scapulas there. That's going to hit him
Yeah.
dead in the back center of that 15 on his jersey.
Yeah. But it was a
So-
big looping breaking ball. He's not hurt.
Didn't get it to come back. He turned and he said, you know what, I'm gonna let this one tag me here real quick, and I'm gonna trot down here to first base. He does, and so now Marsh is really gonna have to work out of this jam. No outs here in the bottom of the third, and runners on first and second as we see number 22 come up to the plate. That is Andrew Karhoff, who scored a run in the first and also had an RBI.
Yeah,
That one's going to jam him up inside.
To me, this is the time where I'd have come out and I'd have talked to my pitcher right before this first pitch. You know, it's starting to get this inning's starting to get away from him. You know, calm him down. You know, maybe gets him to ground into another double play, and then you're right back into the inning.
Marsh is going to look back Massoud on second base. Karhoff, a 1-0 count. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Going to chop one down third base line. That'll go foul. 1-1 count. Beautiful day for district championship baseball here inside of Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. The captain coming to life here. And we know that next week regionals will start. And then following week after that, as we really kind of close out the 2023 school year, most schools have all had graduation. The Tigers had graduation just 2 days ago on Tuesday, following their baseball game, following their win against the Jackson Polar Bears. Got a chance after this pitch here. That one's going to go foul. That'll make the count 1-2 against Karhoff. Got a chance to see my little sister Lauren graduate from Jackson on Saturday. So everybody kind of wrapping up graduation ceremonies. I know on Tuesday, the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, they had theirs as well. But as we know, after regionals next week, Canal Park up in Akron will come to life as OSHA will host their state tournament there. All right, shot out. That's going to be to Tyler Hackenbrack. He's going to catch it. And Massoud is going to tag up and make his way to third. So runners on the corner now for Coach Carmichael's squad.
That's just one out, right? Yeah.
Just one out here for Massillon. So got to try and work himself out of the jam here as Massoud is going to be on third. And we are going to see number 9, Jordan Keeveman, come to the plate, the sophomore.
Yeah, all the schools are ending now. Today was my son's last day of school. I officially have a senior in my house.
Wow.
You know, and man, one more year and I'll be an empty nester. Pretty wild. Doesn't seem like it took that long.
I'll tell you what, brother, time flies. Ball inside to Keeveman. Yeah, I start to understand more and more now the old alma mater from the Ohio State Buckeyes, Carmen, Ohio. The seasons pass, the years will roll, man. They go fast. And trying to sit on top of that breaking ball. Keeveman's going to hit that one foul, make it a 1-1 count with one out here in the bottom of the third. So, yeah, our good friends at the Ohio High School Athletic Association will get the softball and baseball state championships underway at Canal Park. And great setting up there. If you've never been up there to the state championships, go up and check it out. Just a quick little 20-minute jog up 77. We're hoping that we will have some local flavor in attendance. Still some work to be done. A lot of work left to be done here for the Tigers in this district championship game. 1-2 count for Keeveman. Marsh would love to have a strikeout here. Try and keep Massoud on third base and keep him from crossing, and you're going to get a steal.
That was a good pump fake.
Second.
I was thinking he was going for it.
Not gonna.
That's pretty risky.
Risky business over there.
But he sold his fake. I'll give him that.
So Karhoff advances to second. Runners on second and third. 2 outs. So they called that. Yes, they called that strike 3 there. Yes, they did. So,
yeah.
So
and he starts with a first pitch strike here.
That although they're able to move him over to second, Karhoff, no real damage done for Marsh as he's able to get to that second out here, and now he's going to work against Michael Ciavalella.
Looks like a big athletic dude.
Sure does. Strike's going to go on the outside corner of the plate, 0-2 count. So Marsh
settling in now.
Right on top of this thing here. If he can get one more and just work on Ciavolella. That error
He
that
needs
caused
he
Massillon
needs
to
a
get to
strike out
second
here.
won't be much of a factor.
Catcher jumps out to the outside corner.
That one's
That
going to
was
go on the outside of the plate, make it 1-2.
That's a good pitch. That's it's a good miss. You're trying to get him to chase one. You're trying to put it in that spot where it's ordinarily that is a ball, but since it's 2 strikes, the ump expects you to protect the plate. The catcher's lined up on the outside corner again.
Marsh going to step off the bump. Still dragging a little bit from that plane flight home from San Antonio.
Yeah, well, it was a long trip.
Pop up over there to the first baseman. He'll snag it.
There we go.
That's number 7 for the Massillon Tigers. Chase DePlane, the senior first baseman.
Get your team together right now.
That's got to be a big conversation over there.
Right now, this is the time where all you need to do is score 1 run. That's what the conversation I would have with my team right now. Look, everybody get in here. Relax. We're right here. This game could be way worse. We're playing fine. It's a 2-0 game. Let's go out. Let's get 1 run in. Let's steal the momentum right here.
Got to
put some pressure on these Knights.
Got to get the bats going for Coach Spike Ridgely and the Massillon Tigers as we talk about some of our partners here at Stark Media. It starts with our friends at Hilscher Clark Electric Company. Check them out at 519 4th Street Northwest, doing some great things in the community. The Habitat for Humanity house that they're doing down on 7th Street ran all the electric today. Just a phenomenal job in what they're doing for that family, putting that house together. This is something that they've done for years now. So make sure to check out everything they're doing on social media. Hilscher Clark, at Hilscher Clark. Go check out their website at hilscher-clark.com. That's HILSCHER-CLARKE.com. Or you can contact them at 330-625-4217 for all your commercial, residential needs. If you've got an electric vehicle and you're looking to put a charging station in your house, they can do it for you. If you've got some power issues, which I know we've all had here over the last couple months with some pretty crappy weather, and you're looking for a Generac generator, a standby unit to make sure that your house never loses power, contact Hilscher Clark Electric Company and our good friends who I know would like to see a big inning here in the top of the 4th from the Tigers. That's the Eagles FOE 190. Check them out online at eagles190.com, where they got some great things going there. Ball outside to Mr. Hackenbrack. If you stop down to the Eagles or call them at 330-832-7385, they're located at 303 Wyrick Boulevard in downtown Massillon. But check out what they're doing online, eagles190.com. Hackenbrack going to have a pop-up. Third baseman's going to look to try and snag it, reaching over, and that one's going to fall just outside of the dugout. So a 1-1 count for the sophomore Tyler Hackenbrack. If you go to eagles190.com, you can check out all that they do giving back in the community as well. The Jimmy Kiefer Scholarship Fund. Check that out, man. I'll tell you what, they do a lot for not only the Massillon community, but for schools all over the county, for the fire department, for the police station. A great organization that gives over $100,000 a year to local charities. EaglesFOE190.com. All right, here we go. Tyler Hackenbrack fires a shot down to third base. He's not going to be able to beat it out. Even the rip shot over there, Jamie, to number 11, Nate Schimmel, hit him right in the glove, and it dropped right underneath him.
The pole was in my way. I couldn't tell that he dropped it, but I heard the crowd. I knew he bobbled it or something. But
it came out of his glove and went to the perfect spot for him just to be able to reach down, grab it, and fire a shot over there. Tyler Hackenbrack's got some wheels on him. We know that, but a fire shot from Schimmel over to first base gets the first out in the top of the 4th. Hoban leading 2-0 here in the district championship game. 1 out for them here in the top of the 4th. Ball 1 goes across the plate here as we welcome up to the plate number 8, Matt McGeorge, hitting in the 4-hole.
Ooh, big looping breaking ball there. It seemed to be that it was caught in the strike zone. It seems like it when it broke, it was a little high still. So the ump went with ball 2 there.
And as we mentioned earlier, we got a 2-1 count here against McGeorge. He'll be playing his baseball next year at Mercyhurst University. Talk more about them here after this pitch. shot. Wow, I'll tell you what, seen that one called strike a lot here early in this game. That'll be a ball, 3-1 count for McGeorge. You know, Mercyhurst got a really strong baseball program. Had kind of dabbled around D2 for a while, and I believe from what they've done, they're kind of approaching maybe a Division I status. So McGeorge, I know, will be a big asset to them and their program. And again, if you didn't see the performance that young man had on Tuesday against the Jackson Polar Bears, please go back and check out our social media accounts at Stark Media Team on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We got some stuff up there of him, and he was fired up. He was our Hilscher Clark Electric Player of the game, and he's going to hit that one there. It's going to go foul, but the first baseman is going to be able to get underneath it. Yeah. Yes, he does, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. So as you mentioned, Jamie, trying to gather the troops there. Marsh able to get out of the jam, trying to get some of that momentum back.
Right.
And you're going to see Palilli come to the plate with 2 outs. This could be a time. Hey,
yeah, I like
catcher. He's got a little bit of sturdiness to him, so to say.
Just need one.
Crank one out the yard here.
Just need one.
Something going here. Get a little bit of spark coming from your dugout. I know Coach Spike Ridgely would love to see that right now here in the top of the 4th. He's going to rip a shot over the second baseman. That's going to go right into his glove and right over to the first baseman, number 22. That's Andrew Karhoff, who's having a heck of a game thus far. And as we move to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 lead for Hoban. Again, go over and check out our social media accounts. Give us a follow, like, share, subscribe to this channel here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody that's been tuning in here. We've been live here for an hour inside of Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium, and great day for district championship baseball. Looking for the Tigers to get a little bit of a rally here, and we'll see if Christian Marsh, how he's able to handle coming out here again after he's had not only was a dicey first inning, giving up those 2 runs, Jamie, but boy, the Knights made him sweat a little bit last inning.
They're putting pressure on him. That's what I was saying. It's the equivalent of like you're watching a football game and it's a 1 touchdown game, but one team gets 3 first downs and then they punt. The other team goes 3 and out, and then they punt. Then the other team goes 3 first downs. You know, it's you can feel it who's winning this game without, you know, the score doesn't even matter. You know, it's essentially if you keep putting pressure on them, then at some point it'll break. But the idea is you have to steal the momentum. You can't just go 3 and out. You gotta make something, maybe a bunt. You gotta try something to get somebody in scoring position.
I love it, man. I love the analogies, man. That you're like a Swiss Army knife coming out with the football analogies. And,
but it's exactly true. It is exactly true.
You're right. You know, you can get 3 or 4 first downs, punt the ball, and
still feel good about yourself.
You know, you put somebody in a jam with field position, back them up to the goal line here. Well, the Tigers, they've got their back, let's say, to the warning track here right now, because as we know, creeping up here into the bottom of the 4th, as Hoban gets ready to take the plate. That's number 11 coming up here now. Nate Schimmel, who we talked about over there at third base, had that nice gun down over there in the last inning. Only a certain amount of outs left. We know that Hoban, being the home team, we get towards the top of the 7th, and if the Tigers haven't done their damage by then, this ball game could be a wrap. District championship on the line. Schimmel able to sit back on that breaking ball, and right field are going to call off the second baseman, get underneath it, and Mr. Hackenbrack gets himself the first out for his pitcher, Christian Marsh. Hey, shout out to our boy Jason Atkins tuning in to us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Our boy Jason Atkins working himself into becoming quite the wrestling official.
Yeah, that's right.
Done some good things for us here at Stark Media. Shout out to you, Jason, tuning in to us here today. Shout out to our boy Cadillac.
Mentioning Jason Atkins real quick is, that we talk about how every sport needs officials.
Yes, sir.
Every sport needs officials. And what's neat that Jason's doing is his son still in high school, unless he just graduated, I'm not sure, but his son was officiating with him.
Yep.
There's a lot more high school kids that they're allowing to officiate youth competitions, whether it's, football, wrestling, baseball, basketball, get kids involved. It's starting to pay better because they're losing people, and if you want to be involved with your community and you don't have time to be at practice every day, officiating is a great idea because you can kind of pick and choose when you want to work. You can go out, you work for a couple hours.
Oh, a shot between third and short for number 21. Zach Zimmerman, the senior, hitting in that 6-hole spot. And with only one out here in the bottom of the fourth, runner on first now as we see number 7 come to the plate, Leo Wilson. Yeah, I'll tell you, Jamie, one of the ways I made money back in high school, I was an umpire for Holly Hills.
Yeah.
You go over there and you get $40 a game, for a high school kid. It was good money. Work a doubleheader, work a game by yourself, maybe put $80 in your pocket, and you learn something. You provide yourself a skill set. And I know that there's
you're still a part of the game.
Yeah, Jackson High School, I believe, has the officiating class now. There, I believe it's Dan Rodriguez over there who's doing some good things, trying to train some of the young kids to to get that bunt attempt, goes down first baseline, that'll go out, that'll make it an 0-2 count for Leo Wilson. But I just want to give one disclaimer out there here real quick. I know a lot of people see stuff online. Parents, you got to chill sometimes here. I know there was an AAU basketball game, I believe, just a couple days ago where a parent came out and attacked the official and got into a fight. And it's like, you also wonder when you talk about your compensation, is it really worth it when you have to deal with some of this crap? So a disclaimer to the parents, chill out, let your kids, whether it's your young girl or your young son playing ball, let them, I know we like to live vicariously through our kids, but just let them enjoy themselves and enjoy their moment out there and don't interfere.
That's a part of your child's growth and how they become an adult. They have to get a bad call, or, you're not going to go march in and talk to their boss if they get a crummy raise when they're 40 years old. Judas Priest, think about it. Our kids have to grow up with positives and negatives. Got him again.
Guns him down.
I don't know if he got him. The throw was there. I just didn't know from our angle if he tagged him.
Hard to see, but that official was right on top of it.
And again,
Leo
every time
Wilson.
I see a kid slide, it's like slow motion. I've after watching 2 games on these AstroTurf fields, it's so noticeable how slow the kids slide on this.
A little bit different. The one thing you also have to judge too nowadays is when that ball comes chopping down to you. If you remember back in the day when it could take a bad dump off of maybe a little bit of a divot or a rock or a stone, and you're sitting there, you think you got good position on it, and then boom, all of a sudden it cuts off to the left or the right. This makes it so much easier for second base, shortstop, third base to be able to play it a little bit easier and cleaner off of this surface. You mentioned when we were over there at Lake Center Christian, and shout out to the Lake Center Christian Tigers. They're taking on McDonald tonight for a district championship. That's in the Struthers district. Shout out to Shane Byler, our good friends again at Hilsher Clark Electric Company, President John Feather, an assistant, also one of his workers there, former North Canton Hoover Viking and Auburn Tiger, Tyler Drabick. He's on that staff, and hey, shout out to our guy, John Lowry. Had his birthday, celebrated his 40th birthday yesterday. You guys were over there and kind of talking about how, a staff like that at the Division IV level, albeit they went against the St. Thomas Aquinas team that really struggled. They only had their first victory of the season, the game before, to advance to that game against Chalker. But you could just tell that Lake Center Christian team was prepared and well coached.
Well, and I'll tell you this, by this point of the game, and they were in control the whole game.
Yes.
But there was a time where they needed that run to put them over 10. It's the same, and their coach had a little meeting right out there, out of the dugout, out there in front of everybody, so the kids can still feel the energy of the crowd and all that stuff. He had a nice little talk to him. I could tell he was a great coach because I could see every single kid's eyes locked on him on every single word. You don't even have to hear what's being said to know that he's motivating properly at the right time.
Dialed in was that Tiger team having a, we'll call one of the best seasons in school history. Strike one goes across the plate as we see. Got set off guard.
I think this is Drew Stitt. Yeah.
Stitt's up here. Hitting in the 6-hole.
Oh, he chased one.
0-2 count for the pitcher, Landon Browning. Here in the top of the 5th. Hoban leading 2-0. Nice shot there, right to the shortstop for Stitt.
But you're right. You're right. That does take a lot out of the game because, that ball, there was no doubt it hit the ground twice and it rolled to him. There was never a time where it might take a nasty hop or, and all of a sudden you have to adjust, you take it to the chest and collect it and make the throw,
So much easier. I'll tell you what, Luke McGeorge, he's going to come to the plate, the sophomore for the Tigers. 1 out for Hoban here in the top of the 5th. Breaking ball strike.
That was a pretty one. Now he's going to throw heat.
Cat and mouse game from pitcher, catcher to your right-handed batter, Luke McGeorge.
Oh, I guess not.
That one's not going to get to cut over the plate. That'll stay inside. 1-1 count. 1 out for the Knights, leading 2-0. Shout out to one of our sponsors tuning into us here right now, Simon Says Promotions. Appreciate the shout out, guys. Talk more about them after this inning. Rip shot over to the second baseman for McGeorge, and
nice
that'll
play.
be an out. Yeah, if you're looking for any of your Tiger gear, any of your custom embroidery, any of your vinyl decals, stickers, logos, whatever you might need, check out our friends at Simon Says Promotions with locations over at 409 Erie Street, over at 256 Erie Street South at the old Checkered Flag building. They've rebranded that with a lot of different businesses in there. Strike one across the plate. Working against Chase Duplain is Landon Browning. 0-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Check out Spirit of Stark. All your custom apparel needs over at 409 Erie Street North, right next to the Massillon Rec Center. Ball 1. So we'll have a 1-1 count for Chase Duplain. And again, Simon Says Promotions, owner of the Tiger Store at 59 Lincoln Way East. Go over there and check them out for all your Tiger apparel. I know they got some great new looks coming up for the 2023 high school football season. Saw Dan Hackenbrack, defensive coordinator, sporting one of those new Warpath shirts out there in the stands today. Out here supporting his son, Tyler Hackenbrack. And again, appreciate Simon Says Promotions for all they do for us here at Stark Media. Check them out, Tiger Store. Also, Spirit of Stark. 2-2 count for Chase Duplain. Here in the top of the 5th, 2 outs. Really nice crowd for the Tigers have filled in. I know that they're looking for their guys from Washington High School here to get something going.
Yeah, they show up in droves when they're up against the Hoban Knights.
No doubt about it. It was a great crowd up there in the fall, and we were able to bring that game to you up at InfoCision Stadium. And a walk for Duplain, so he'll be able to get on base as I believe that is number 1 coming to the plate. That's Xavier Hamid. Yeah, the matchup in basketball really didn't go their way. I believe, don't quote me on here, I think it was maybe a 20-point differential in the state tournament. Was close all the way through in the football game too until about midway through the 3rd quarter. Dorian Pringle was able to get a nice touchdown run. Tigers looked to get back into the ball game, and that young fella up there, Lamar Sperling, heading to Buffalo. What a phenomenal running back. Wow. He kind of sealed the deal with a 78-yard jaunt down the sideline. All right.
He booted it slow.
They were able to get the out. Landon Browning able to get over there to cover first as number 22, his first baseman, dove down on the ground for the ball. Andrew Karhoff, Jamie, kind of bobbled it, but again, looked like maybe Hamid would be able to run it out.
He gave it everything he could. He
gave the old Major League. He gave the Tom Berenger, man. He dove out for it, man. He just didn't have Willie Mays Hayes rounding third.
Right.
All right, to the bottom of the 5th we go. Hoban getting ready to head to the plate, and they're leading 2-0. So I believe, based off of how that finished out last inning, Jamie, that was a pickoff at second. So same batter comes back up to the plate, right?
Right.
Fresh
absolutely.
count.
Yep.
Okay.
Now
that'll be number 24 coming to the plate. That is Landon Browning, your pitcher.
It's urgent now for the Tigers to to have another inning like that. 3 up, 3 down, and
mission critical, partner.
Yeah, they're down to 6 outs with their offense. So
Marsh still out there on the bump for the Tigers. Hey, if you're looking for some good food tonight, man, make sure you check out Lindsay's Pizza. Go to lindsays.pizza.com or call John Lindsay and his crew at 330-477-3800. Lindsay's Pizza, the preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media team. And for any of our friends out there, it's been a little windy out lately. We've had some tree limbs coming down, and it's just about that time. McNeil and Sons Tree Service, make sure you contact them at 330-606-1126. Ask for Garrett or Tom, and those guys will take care of you. Tell them that the Stark Media team sent you. Again, McNeil and Sons Tree Service, located in the Portage Lakes area, 330-606-1126. And our good friends in North Canton, C.H. Vallis and Associates, when looking for home, auto, life insurance, any of your financial service needs, contact Jimmy or Chris at 330-494-2776, located right on Main Street in North Canton. Leadoff
he's
shot
gonna get him.
for Landon Browning. They're going to fire it to first,
Oh,
but he's going to
he
pull
had
Stitt
him.
off the bag. Check that. That was Mr. Duplain that he pulls off the bag.
No.
As you mentioned, Jamie, such a rip shot out there to Tyler Hackenbrack.
He came up firing. He there was no doubt in his mind. I think he just got excited to make a big play in the game. And
Landon Browning will step off of first. They're going to do a pinch run for him. That's number 3, Jack Stevens, the senior, that will come in.
Hoban knows too it's important, that they're going to pinch run here and with the lead to try and stretch their lead a little bit.
Interesting you say that, because as I sat out there on that porch the other day listening to some of the Tiger fans as they got all the way into the 7th inning, they kept saying 2's not enough. 2's not enough.
Right. Right.
Because at any moment you get a hot bat and you can put 3 runs, 4 runs on the board. And so, Hoban knows that, hey, they'd like to tack one on. First and third are going to come up for that bunt attempt, and that'll be a strike.
Well, it's still high school sports, kids get complacent. That's why you have to have those meetings. You have to reel them back in, because at any point, you leave them alone long enough and all of a sudden they get complacent and all of a sudden there's 2 errors in 1 inning. And next thing you know, 3 runs are on the board.
Masood Jennings at the dish. They're going to do a pickoff attempt on Stevens, who was inserted as pinch runner for Landon Browning.
You see what they did there on that pickoff move? They, they brought the first baseman up for the bunt the last time. So that time he started running up thinking he would steal because he wasn't getting held. And then he ran back. So it was a little cat and mouse
shot
again.
For Masood, and he's going to advance his runner, Jack Stevens, and he'll make it to first. So with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th, boy, Christian Marsh, he's going to have his work cut out for him again. We kind of saw this same song just 2 innings ago. And that really started, Jamie, with Masood Jennings as he led off, and he had that double that was cranked into center field, and that got your lone error in this ball game, and that's for the Massillon Tigers. He was able to make it all the way in, standing up to second base. Now, again, no damage would be done to Christian Marsh, but I think that's going to be the end of his day.
I'm not sure.
We'll
sure.
see.
Oh, I wonder if the catcher's going to pitch because we got 2 guys going to the dugout.
So Marsh getting a little bit of love from his buddy number 9, Luke McGeorge. He's going to dap him up as he ends his day here in the district championship game. Tell you what, nothing to hang your head about there, young man. Getting another hug from number 2, Drew Stitt. And I'll tell you what, Jamie, albeit gave up those 2 runs in the first inning, Christian Marsh had settled in.
He battled.
And he battled, and he fought through,
He
was
closed
tough.
Some innings with runners on, and he had his heres, he had his theirs, but in all honesty, district championship game, you only give up 2 runs, and hopefully, you need your offense to
some bats
to get behind you as well.
So we see one of our assistants out there talking. We're going to see who we have come into the game.
I think it's going to be a long break because I
saw Palilli go off there and it looked like he's going to take off.
He was the first one. He was the first one to come off, and then there was one kid right behind him. So I assume that he might take over the catching duties. I don't know.
Hey, make sure on Saturday morning to check back with us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. We're going to be live out at Perry High School for the Stark County Showcase. Zach Slates, head football coach over there at Perry High School, putting on a great little deal. We were able to cut out to one over at the Hall of Fame Village last week. Again, shout out to Canton City's own Antonio Hall, head coach of the McKinley Bulldogs. He organized it over there at the Dome at the Hall of Fame Village, and that featured McKinley, Glen Oak, Ursuline, Drawing a blank on the other team that was there.
That's
But
Palili, your catcher.
Palili's going to take the mound here as we get ready to watch him warm up. Make sure, tune in with us. Also, Akron East was over there as well. Coach Marcus Hayes, good dude, runs a great program up there. We always see them take on a Federal League team early. I believe they took on like 5 Federal League teams during the season last year. Always a staple watching them open up against Jackson.
Who was that? I was
Akron East. The Akron East
yeah.
Dragons. I believe they had Jackson, Perry, Lake. Running a really good program.
They've had some really tough teams in the last couple of years. We played them. North Canton played them as well.
It's just it's a discipline thing. You got to get guys that can keep from getting pulled off sides and all that.
Right.
Coach Marcus Hayes does a great job. But nonetheless, I'll tell you what, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, we're going to be live. Got a cool little new deal partnership that we've put together here at Stark Media with our good friends over at Perry High School over there in the tech department with our guy Keith Brown and all of his students. They're going to be doing some work for us here as we move into the 2023-24 high school year coming up. But we're going to kind of roll in and usher out kind of a new layout for Stark Media, a little bit of new technology that we're going to be sampling. And so we're going to be live there as the Perry Panthers are going to host the Lake Blue Streaks, Jamie's own North Canton Hoover Vikings and Coach Brian Baum, and then one of his former assistants who is now doing some big things out in Alliance, Coach Goodman, who's been recently appointed the new athletic director for Alliance City Schools and is the head football coach out there and just done a phenomenal job over there. So Alliance, Lake, North Canton, the Perry Panthers, you can get a chance to check them out right here exclusively on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel, 10 o'clock Saturday morning. Catch us over there. Kind of like a showcase deal, I guess. And for a lot of people don't really know this, Jamie, but as OSHA has kind of amended some new rules for football, we've had spring practices this year, first time ever. And so what a lot of coaches have done is they've done a practice here, they've done a practice there, but they've organized these showcases to be able to get college recruits or college scouts to come out and recruit their kids. You know, there was over 50 scouts in attendance over there at the Hall of Fame Village, and I know there's going to be another probably 30, 40, 50 scouts over there at Perry High School on Saturday. So it's a great way to get your kids exposure.
Tell me a little bit about it. What all did they do 40 times?
So you're going to do your 40, you're going to do your pro agility, you're going to get out there and you're going to do some footwork drills, you're going to have some pass protection drills, you're going to have just kind of a whole gamut of tests.
Any 7-on-7
No
type stuff?
7-on-7. They did they do kind of like what you would call a skelly, which is just you and your offense kind of just chucking the ball around.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a good look at quarterback and receivers, but you get a little one-on-one pass rush with the O-line, D-line. Good little deal here. So we're going to see a bunt attempt go down to third base line. They're going to advance runners to first and third. Ball is going to go
now
over
the wheels are falling off.
And here we see
they're going to score too.
Here comes Masood Jennings. He's going to come in and he goes down and he's going to cross the plate safe. 4-0 lead for Archbishop Hoban here in the bottom of the 5th. Boy, tough break there for Palili. Brock Palili, the sophomore, as he just took the mound in relief of Christian Marsh. And number 15 for the Hoban Knights.
That's rough.
Parker Falkenstein laid down a perfect bunt down third base line, Jamie.
That's rough because I'll tell you, Palili has been having a really good game. He's picked off a runner. He might have had a hit too. He's impressed me this whole game, and for a little mental error like that, obviously he's a young guy out there.
First pitch to number 22, Andrew Karhoff, goes across the dish for a strike. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 lead for Archbishop Hoban. Runner at third.
Where he went.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're getting some good change right there, partner. If you're bunting down third base line, you get 2 RBIs and you end up on third.
Yeah, right. Right.
Talk about hitting a homer there. So Falkenstein's on third, no outs, 0-2 count to Karhoff, who has an RBI and a run in this ball game. 9 hits on the afternoon for Archbishop Hoban. 2 hits, 2 errors for the Massillon Tigers. That second error, one that did the most damage, giving up 2 runs. That first one went on the outfielder Crow. No damage was done, but this time Masood Jennings was able to cross home, get the 4th run of the ball game for Coach Carmichael and his crew, leading here 4-0 in the district championship game inside of Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. TJ Downing and Jamie Fausnight, pleasure to be riding alongside everyone here tuning into us on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, heading into the evening here. Kind of a crisp, cool air here late in May.
After being at San Antonio, it's wonderful. I'm loving the weather out here. It's air conditioning outside is what I call it.
Well, I got a chance to talk to you before you head down there, man, and the old river walk, man. Some memories come up from there. My first bowl game start as a sophomore at Ohio State was against Oklahoma State in the Alamo Bowl, man. Great city, San Antonio.
It is.
Chopper foul down third base line. 2-2 count. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Karhoff at the plate. Palili in relief for Christian Marsh. Yeah, boy, that river walk, it really can kind of come to life down there. And
yeah, we were close to it. We
man.
We didn't get a chance to go down there.
Did you get a chance to tour the Alamo?
No, we didn't leave our resort. We had work to do. It wasn't a vacation.
I didn't know.
It had its moments where it felt like it, but
I didn't know if you were going to try and pull your best Davy Crockett, man. I'll tell you what, I could see you with one of those little raccoon hats on, man. It looked good on you.
Probably pull it off.
That'd keep you warm in the wintertime. 2-2 pitch. Cranked up the middle. That's going to score. Karhoff make it 5-0. Second RBI of the day for Karhoff. And it's starting to come loose here for the Massillon Tigers in the district final. Kievman up to the plate. Still no outs here in the bottom of the fifth. A 3-run fifth thus far for Hoban. As we mentioned, Hoban got here by way of beating the Hilltoppers of Chardon 9-4 the other day, getting a little revenge from the loss they suffered to them last year in the state championship game at Canal Park. Ball outside, 1-0 count. Beat them 9-4. Tigers would get here off of a 2-0 victory over the 1 seed Jackson Polar Bears. Heck of a day for Matt McGeorge. A little bit of a struggle here as Marsh has given up 2 and now Palili 3. 5-0 lead for Archbishop Hoban. Still, as Jamie mentioned, though, 6 outs will remain on offense for the Tigers. See if they can get something done, but they're going to have to get themselves out of this inning here first. Still with no outs and a 3-0 count.
Yeah, they need to get out of this. They need something to spark them. They needed somebody to make a big play. Not that I don't think that the Tigers have left any plays out there, because realistically, Hoban has hit them where they weren't, but they need something to spark something. That double play and maybe the second or third inning, I thought that was what could have done it. But to this point, Hoban has just controlled the whole game.
4 straight balls for Kievman. He'll advance to first now. That'll bump Karhoff up to second as we see number 23, Michael Ciavalella, come to the plate, the junior. Batting cleanup for the Knights. Strike on the outside of the plate.
It's pretty wild to think that, you mentioned that 9 kids are going to play college baseball, next year.
Yeah.
And here we are in the district finals down 2, and you put a sophomore on the mound.
There you go.
Interesting. Not saying it's the right or wrong call, just interesting.
Karhoff able to steal third.
Oh, they showed bunt and left the bag open.
Yeah, he showed bunt, and McGeorge charges. Bag left open, and good base running there. Good heads-up awareness by Karhoff to take the easy steal.
You wonder if the guy on first missed a sign. The base runner on first didn't move.
Got stuck over there talking to the Tiger cheer section. Student body right. 0-2 count and cranks it. Ciavalella, an RBI for him. He's going to score Karhoff and advance Kievman to second base.
Just solid batting. Like these, they're not catchable for the infield. They're not catchable for the outfield. There's just ropes, that are hitting, 10, 15 feet right in front of the outfielders.
11th hit of the day for the Knights, and that'll bring up number 11 to the plate, Nate Schimmel, the third baseman.
And after seeing all those off-speed pitches, They might be chomping at the bit at a few more fastballs.
That's most recent RBI there for Ciavalella is going to make it 6-0 now. Knights advantage here in the district championship game. Here at the home of the captain, foul ball. That'll make count 0-2. Yeah, enough can't be said or done in this town to represent or pay homage and tribute to a guy like Thurman Munson. I've told people many of times, some of my fortunate things that happened to me, some of my blessings in football. One of the greatest ever was, being able to say, being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and one of the 7 only to ever do that from Stark County, one of them being Thurman Munson, was just an honor to be able to say something like that. And pop-up catcher going to get underneath it. That'll provide your first out of the inning.
That was a very cool statement you just made. Only one of 7 from Stark County to be on Sports Illustrated. How many counties in America have 7 kids that have been on?
Exactly.
Have been on 7 people have been on Sports Illustrated. If that doesn't that's what I heard when you just said that.
It just goes to show you the rich history that we have around here, and really that's a lot of the premise of what we've tried to start here at Stark Media.
Absolutely.
To be able to cover all the great athletes. As we see a bunt attempt there for number 2 coming to the plate, that is Brady Terzola, the junior. So he's inserted into the ball game, and I believe that'll be in regards to Jack Stevens coming in. And he's going to bunt it right back to Palili, so he catches it for the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the 5th. Again, back to the kind of our mission statement, or our general idea and thoughts of what we wanted to cover here and do for this area. It's not just the football. It's not just the basketball, although there's never been a basketball guy to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. But talk about another Massillon legend, Tom Weiskopf, who won the British Open, was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Keep it over there, Massillon. Obviously, everybody knows what Paul Brown did. He was on the cover of it twice. Just an absolute legend there. Guys like Alan Page from Central Catholic and North Canton's own Todd Blackledge. So much history. And Thurman Munson, he's as much a part of that as anybody. As you talked about it, Jamie, captain of the Yankees. How many people can say they've been a captain of the Yankees?
Yeah.
Not many.
Chris Spielman wasn't on the
Chris Spielman was not. He got the Wheaties
He just got
box.
Wheaties. Yeah. I knew he was on the Wheaties box, but I thought of him as one of the 7. You got guys like Chris Spielman, Lenny Dawson,
Len Dawson was another one that was
Marion
on the cover.
Motley. Obviously, Sports Illustrated was the thing then, but there's so many people. Marion Motley is one of my favorites, and obviously I never really watched him play, but if my details may not be exactly correct, but he was an African-American professional football player 2 years before
Jackie
Robinson in Major League Baseball, and he's rather unknown. And I think that's why I'm so glad they put a big statue of him in front of the Tom Benson Stadium. He was definitely one of the, pioneers for African-American sports in this country.
2-2 count for the batter, Brady Terzola. First time we've seen him today. Palili trying to get out of this inning here. Trailing 6-0. The Tigers are here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, I'll tell you what, again, you talk about things that Canton City has done. They did this stadium, the renovation here, phenomenal job. And guys like Antonio Hall and Jill Thomas and Dave Jingo and RJ Van Allman, they got together and they said, you know what? We need to put a statue of Mary Motley up. And what a great job they did. If you missed that and you're listening here now, you can go back on our Stark Media Team YouTube channel. You can catch myself and Sam Berkwin, who were out there at that statue unveiling. They had Marion's grandson, Joe Hose, come down and kind of speak to the crowd and an entire unveiling. Another guy integral in all the success of these facilities. Chopper down there to shortstop. He's going to fire it over, your 3rd out of the inning. So as we head to the top of the 6th, again, 3 out of the last 6 outs remaining for the offense here of the Washington Tigers. Got to get something going here, trailing 6-0. And, one guy who, again, has just always been instrumental, and that's J.R. Rinaldi. My guy Jimmy down there. Jimmy always taking care of the Stark Media crew, man. Appreciate him. Huge Ohio State guy, man. He kind of was chewing on my ear as I walked in about recruiting. Said, this Raiola guy, they're stealing guys down there, trying to get them to go down to Florida. But for me, to be able to see what guys like Gerald Rinaldi and Antonio and RJ, what they've done to give back to this community, to be able to show the history, it's unbelievable. Again, just talking about those names, Thurman and Marion, just leave those sit there and maybe dabble in a Len Dawson and a Paul Brown, and God rest his soul, man. Len Dawson passed away this past year, but one of the most iconic images ever, him in the locker room at halftime of the Super Bowl, drinking a beer, burning a heater.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah.
It doesn't get much more gangster than that right there.
Absolutely.
Straight out of the Lions, baby. All right, 6-0 lead for Coach Carmichael and his team. Again, I know that the Lake Center Christian Tigers are playing some ball here tonight up in Struthers against McDonald. They are the number 1 seed in that D4 district. Hey, also, as we do mention the Thurman Munson name quite often here inside of his Memorial Stadium, cool little deal coming up here. If you go over to the Stark Media Team Facebook page, Goose Gossage, who is in Cooperstown, was one of Thurman's pitchers. Goose is going to be coming to town. Part of what they do with J. Babe Stern Center and the Thurman Munson Scholarship Fund. Diane Munson and her son Mike Munson have done a great job promoting that and building it up, and they've had some great speakers come in over the last couple of years, other than the crazy Ron Bloomberg, who kind of went to bat for himself there working against Mayor Burnaby. He dressed him down at Skyland Pines, man. He said, you got to do more for Thurman Munson. He said, we're redoing the stadium. I don't know if you know about that or not, but no, Goose Gossage is going to come. He's going to be the featured speaker. So go check out our Facebook page if you want to get tickets to that and be a part of that dinner. It's a great evening benefiting the Thurman Munson Scholarship Fund. And ball one for the batter, number 13 for the Tigers. That is Gavin Marceric, leadoff hitter for Massillon, but also guys like Steve Fettman from the drugstore down on Tusk, and he gets behind that, and your title sponsor, and for J. Babe Stern Center, all they do giving back to the boys and girls of this community. You get out there and support if you can. That's a great event coming up with Goose Gossage speaking for the Thurman Munson Scholarship Fund.
Oh, that's awesome.
1-1 count here in the top of the 6th. TJ Downing and Jamie Fausnight, happy to be a part of your Thursday afternoon, evening here in the district championship game from Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. I've seen a bunch of people kind of commenting here on our YouTube channel, tuning in, watching, listening. Appreciate all of you guys riding alongside us here.
Absolutely.
2-1 count for Gavin.
That's a high chopper.
Smoke one to short. He's going to fire it over and stretching out.
He kept his foot on the
Carhoff.
Nice play.
Nice play for him, stretching out there. I'll tell you what, Landon Browning still on the bump here for the Knights, Jamie, as we start to get closer to the end of this ball game. As we always do, we have our Hilscher Clark Electric Company electric player of the game. I guess one guy who's kind of stuck out to me, you can kind of go a couple different ways if it ends up being the Knights. Carhoff over at first base. He's played well over there. He's had some great at-bats, pair of RBIs. Landon Browning pitching a shutout. How can you go away from that? He had a nice hit to lead off that last inning that just sparked 4 runs for the Knights. We'll have that announcement for you here. Hopefully the Tigers able to get back into the game here with 1 out in the top of the 6th, 2 balls.
They got to get on the board here. Need to cross that plate in this inning.
Brennan Crow, your senior, at the plate.
I've seen crazier things than happen. I will not sit here and say this game is over if they don't score here. But I'll tell you right now, again, you got to put some pressure on the Knights. They have not put any pressure on them since the first inning.
Bob Ball, appreciate you jumping on here and checking out the action from Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium, partner. 6-0 lead for Archbishop Hoban here in the top of the 6th. 3-0 count. Working against Brennan Crow is Landon Browning. 1 out for the Knights. They fired in there. That's going to bring up a full count. Ball's away outside, and you will have a walk for Brennan Crow. So Tyler Hackenbracht will come to the plate. Tigers trailing 6-0 here in the top of the sixth. District championship on the line.
Everybody's doing this lineup, man. It's time to have a big rally.
Well,
Browning could be fatiguing a little bit here.
I got to think. I mean, you start talking about complete game stuff. We'll talk more after this pitch. Tyler Hackenbracht going to take ball 1. 1-0 count, 1 out for the Knights. You started to think about that the other day with Matt McGeorge. And you're a guy that's getting ready to go and play big-time college baseball next year. But, to gather up all those pitches, you don't see a whole lot of guys doing complete games anymore. Ball 2, 2-0 count for Tyler Hackenbracht. You see, and again, maybe this is more related to MLB stuff, but so many guys are working on a pitch count. You're going to see Coach Carmichael come out and talk to Landon Browning, but hey, you got one guy on, you got 1 out. Do you let this guy go the distance? If, how much leeway in a district championship when you're up 6-0 do you give Landon Browning?
Well, the coach knows his kid, so that's first things first. What I like is he's coming out, he's having I don't think he's pulling him out of the game. He's felt like a little bit of a switch, a little bit of momentum. So he's coming out.
Take a little pause in the action.
They're having a little, calm everybody down. Say, look, hey, I know this inning started to go away from you a little bit. Let's just buckle down. Let's throw a strike on this next pitch and let's go from there. You just calm the guy down. He knows his kid. He knows if he can get 6 more outs or not. But you're absolutely right. They're, as little kids, they're on strict pitch counts and things like that. They may not be, built to go 6 innings by the time they're in high school.
Landon Browning, only a junior. So, you start to worry about stuff like that. And it's always got to be on the back of your mind, wearing somebody down, that fatigue. And we've seen so many pitchers. I mean, when you're whipping that arm through there, Tommy John is always the first thing that kind of sticks out to you. That elbow is exposed and that whip action. Yep. And Landon's going to step off the mound there and look over at Brennan Crow, walk him back a little bit. Tyler Hackenbracht facing a 2-1 count, 1 out for the Knights. He chops one up to second base, and Brennan Crow gets right in front of it, so they'll get the out at first. Over to Karhoff, they get Hackenbracht out, but by proxy, I guess, Brennan Crow in the right place at the right time, able to shield himself to be able to just advance the runner. But still, your ultimate goal, need guys on base, need runs. As we talked about it, you are now down to 4 outs, Tigers offensively. So up to the dish now is number 8 for Massillon. That is Matt McGeorge, batting cleanup today. He's going to hit one foul. Again, great performance on Tuesday. For that performance, he was named our Hilscher Clark Electric Performer of the district semi. We'll have that Hilscher Clark Electric player and performer for you coming up here at the end of this ball game.
And we need him to make something happen here. The Tigers need him to make something happen here. If we're going to get turn this into a ball game, something's got to happen here.
Yep, you need not only do you need the guy here at the plate, Matt McGeorge, to score, you need to bring in Brennan Crow, and you would want at least with 2 outs here. You'd like to walk away with these 2 runs.
Yeah, Lily's on deck, and I've liked him the whole game, and I got a feeling he's going to make up for that error he had that made that bunt a triple.
6-0 lead for Hoban as the catcher will come out and have a conversation with Landon Browning. 1-1 count facing Matt McGeorge, who will be playing his baseball collegiately at Mercyhurst. For those just kind of jumping on here now.
Do you have the stats on him? How big of a guy is he?
Matt McGeorge is 5'9", I believe.
He doesn't look like a great big guy. I was curious.
He's not.
He's about 190, though. He looks solid, dude.
5'8" senior. You can go back and check out his graphic that we put up for him on our social media accounts at Stark Media Team on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Got a nice little picture of Matt McGeorge up there, courtesy of our friends at Hilscher Clark Electric. Yeah, good kid. I'll tell you what, a lot of confidence. You can tell he was oozing with it as he walked off. Talk more about that after this pitch here. That one's going to go outside. That's going to make it a 3-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. He really wanted that one against the Jackson Polar Bears the other day. You could see as he walked off the mound, there was a little flexing, there was a little stare down. The Tigers had faced the Polar Bears earlier in the season. They had lost, so that's a get back game, man. That's a revenge game. You got to love that.
Yeah.
Browning going to step off the bump. He's going to walk back Crow with a 3-1 count, 2 outs, working against Matt McGeorge.
That's the fun thing about youth and high school
it's
sports.
Local too.
Not just that it's local, but
Chopper for McGeorge to the shortstop. He fires over to first base. Karhoff, he'll get it in there into his mitt, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So, again, Browning working on a complete game, scoreless shutout effort against the Tigers. We head to the bottom of the 6th, Jamie, and, for the Tigers, do you bring Palili back out after he just got shelled for 4 runs?
It depends on what ammo you have in your belt. I don't know.
Pitching has been the strong suit for the Tigers this year. And again, I was working off some of the info that I got from the front porch, we'll call it here, over the other day. They went through the season, I believe, with like a team ERA of under 1. Wow. It was like a 0.8 or something. So pitching's been the strong suit. They've struggled with some runs, as we can see here in this district championship game, and it will be Palili that comes back out. Now, my next guess here, hopefully the Tigers are able to go 1, 2, 3. Do you bring Landon Browning back out if you're Coach Carmichael? You give a kid the opportunity.
I say absolutely.
I'm with you. And again, we go back to major leagues a little bit here. It's always kind of bothered me. You think, hey, guys got a chance to maybe do a complete game or some type of shutout, or that's a feather in a cap for a pitcher.
Well,
you don't want to come out, but again, you also, each coach knows his pitcher. You know where that kind of pitch count is at, and you don't want to go too far over.
Plus, think about the, I don't know what the pitch count is on him right now. I don't know what the goal is. I don't know where what window they want to keep him in. But in all honesty, I mean, the Tigers have 2 hits. They haven't had a lot of base runners, so that means he's not pitching deep pitches into each inning. Essentially they've been 3 and out and punting. I can't imagine his pitch count is somewhere where they'd be nervous about putting him out there.
I don't believe that going back through this entire ball game that the Tigers have even advanced to third base other than maybe once.
Right in that first inning, I think.
That was it. So you're right. I mean, you had a little deal there in this last inning where you got a guy over to second base, but for the most part,
it's been under 20 pitches every inning.
Landon Browning's been doing his thing. He's been an issue here, and really, I guess when we talk about a Hilshire Clark Electric Company player of the game, he's got to be right at the top of the list.
Now, what I don't know, and this isn't my area of expertise. What I don't know is if you pitch him this entire game, can you use him at all when their next game is? The coaches know that. I'm not sure. If that is the difference, and you want to keep him and get a couple innings, maybe he's your closer in that game if something's struggling. Maybe you do put somebody else out there. But
now, and again, don't quote me on this. Want to give another shout out here. Brandon Kemp jumping on with us, brother. Appreciate you tuning in here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. But I believe for regionals next week, it is a different situation. So we're going to see Palili here. First pitch, that's going to be fouled off. 0-1 count to start the bottom of the 6th. Now, for districts here, we had our semifinal on Tuesday. Here's our championship Thursday night. I believe, again, don't quote me on this, at regionals, that ball is going to be hit out there to Mr. Hackenbrack. We'll see if Tyler can get underneath it. He does. First out of the inning for the Tigers. I believe they go either Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday. So there's no space. There's no day off in between the regional semi and the regional final.
But they still have a whole week before they play.
Yes.
So 6 days. Your Wednesday. Yeah. So I would think he'd be fine to play again, whether he pitches this last inning or not.
Palili. Another pop-up. That one's going to go over to left field. He gets underneath it, and Palili doing his job thus far. 2 outs in the inning. That was number 6 for the Knights who popped that up, Masood Jennings.
Just so far a 2-pitch inning. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Seems like it's going pretty quick. See, now he's making it look easy.
He's like, man, if that could have only happened in the bottom of the 5th. Masood Jennings having a good game here, junior outfielder for Coach Carmichael. Scored a run, had a nice stand-up double. And now we will bring up number 15, That's Parker Falkenstein back to the top of the order. 1-0 count for him. Belili, the stretch, lets it loose. Another strike. First strike against Parker Falkenstein. 1-1 count. David Lara, appreciate you tuning into us, partner, here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. 6-0 lead here for Archbishop Hoban over Massillon in the district championship game from the captain here in the city of Canton, Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium. Boy, beautiful, beautiful field and nice Bulldog logo there with the Canton City School District logo right behind home plate.
Oh,
Ball's
little
going to
knuckler.
dink over to second base, and he'll get it over to first for the third out of the inning. So here we go.
Here it goes.
Jamie Fausnight down to our last 3 outs for the Massillon Tigers. Need a 6-run performance here.
I know Palili's starting him off. You know, he got a little momentum, feeling good about himself after, you know, a 3-up, 3-down inning. Like to see him jump out and get a leadoff hit, help himself out, get this Tiger team, you know, get on the board. You got to score 1 if you're going to score 7.
Exactly. You know, just say at least if you get 6 of them, tie this thing up. You know, you work to what you can get and stay in the game, but a lot of work needs to be done here over 3 outs as we see Landon Browning come out to take on the top of the 7th, working on a complete game shutout. He's only given up 2 hits to the Massillon Tigers. And again, Jamie, I believe that was I know one of them was only in the first inning.
Yeah.
So, but again, just a great performance by Landon Browning. Not a bunch of strikeouts, right? But just the Tigers just haven't been able to get any solid shots. Everything is kind of worked right into the glove of either second or short.
Some of their best hits were right
ones.
at people. Some of their best hits were right at people.
11 hits on the afternoon for Coach Carmichael's Hoban Knights, who have had a strong run here over the last couple of years. Lost the state championship game to Chardon, who they defeated 2 days ago, 9-4. The Hilltoppers, state champs last year. Hoban actually was leading that game like 5-3, working through 5 innings. So this is a nice program that Coach Carmichael has come into after spending a good bit of years with Jackson and Perry. First ball across the plate is a strike for Landon Browning to start the top of the 7th. 6-0 lead for Hoban. Palili at the plate for the Tigers. He's going to crank one in between first and second, and he's going to arrive at first base.
I like that kid,
clean and safe.
I like that kid.
Tell you what, from what he did behind the plate, saw that. Was able to gun down 2 guys at second. Came in relief, struggled a little bit, but like what he's done with his bat here, he gets the 3rd hit of the day, and they're going to bring in a pinch runner for him.
Sophomore.
That's going to be number 15 going out to first base. That's Ryan Page. Talk about Ryan Page here real quick. Really good football player for Coach Nate Moore, and his brother starting at safety for Coach John Fankhauser of the Walsh Cavaliers. Again, go back and check out our Stark Media Team YouTube channel. You're on it here right now. Make sure you click subscribe. But go check out what we're doing with the Walsh Cavaliers. Got a partnership we've put together with Walsh University. We cover a lot of their different sports. But Coach Fankhauser and David Rhodes, starting center, who was a Lake High School graduate, able to join me over at the Hall of Fame, over in the presentation room, the gold jacket room, so to say. A nice little interview, and we're gonna crank out about 25 episodes as they try and Hoban fire it down to Karhoff and work against Page, who is a speedster. He's trying to get a good lead off there. Again, trailing 6-0. Need all you can get out of your base running and your batting here. 1-0 count for the batter. That one's going to go across. That'll be a strike. 1-1 for Drew Stitt. Yeah, John Fankhauser and his center joining me over there. Nice little interview. So go check that out on our Stark Media Team YouTube channel. We're going to crank out about 25 episodes, leading you all the way up to training camp and through the 2023, we'll call it the journey through football season, man. I'll tell you what, partner, blink, and training camp's going to be here, and we're going to be talking about football games.
I'm ready. I can't wait. Football's my favorite.
Getting ready to close out the spring here as they fire it back over to first base. Browning to Karhoff, working Page back to first. 2-1 count for Stitt. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Tigers trailing 6-0. Need to get some action going here now. That ball is going to hit the outside of the plate. We'll call it a ball. 3-1 count for Stitt. Browning lets it go. That'll go for a strike. Full count now for Stitt. The senior 6'5", Drew Stitt.
Senior DHer, man, he needs to put one in play here.
Well, time is of the essence, partner.
Right, yeah.
He's going to chop one over to second base.
Oh, there we go. Go to
off
third.
Of him. So Page, he's going to take third, and Stitt will stay at first. So,
hey, man.
Heads up base running, as you kind of called it out there, partner. It's hard to see as Page was rounding second. He was just hoping that to get there safe. Not sure. I think he kind of knew that the second baseman was going to take it to first for the easy out.
Right.
But, heads up play, looked over his shoulder. He might have heard you from up here, man. That voice carries, man. That thing.
It does. That'll be a wrap on Browning.
That one popped off the side of the second baseman and kind of squirted out left on him.
And that wasn't his fault.
So that'll be the first error of the afternoon for Hoban. And I'll tell you what, Coach Carmichael's pitcher, Landon Browning, he's going to get a great applause from the Hoban faithful that have traveled down here to support their Knights. And let's see who he's going to turn it over to. I believe
it's a lefty. I can't see what his number is.
Those dark navy jerseys with those cream numbers. Let's see here. I think I got a number 9 for the Hoban Knights. That's going to be Jordan Keeveman, the sophomore, left-handed pitcher, as Jamie mentioned, coming into the ball game here in relief of Landon Browning, who has, we'll say, he's gone a solid 6, started out the 7th, still no outs, but he's not too shabby of a performance there by Mr. Browning.
Absolutely.
So as Hoban leads 6-0 here in the top of the 7th, looking to secure a district championship. Once Keeveman gets the live batter to the plate, that'll be number 11, Braden Garofalo, the senior. As he gets up there, he's going to have a guy on third.
Corners.
And a guy on first, man. Corner him up.
Try to get that guy off of first as soon as you can. You eliminate that double play. And, it's a six-run game. My grandfather used to say, he'd look at stuff like that and he'd say, I seen sicker dogs than that get well, and so, you just gotta let it go. But you got, it's 6 runs. It's not the biggest thing in the world. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, you just get going, get that first run in. And all of a sudden, the momentum changes.
Fork and knife for sure. Man.
Right on.
Page on third, Stitt on first. And Garofalo, Braden Garofalo, the senior, will come to the plate. I'll tell you what, talking about Coach Fankhauser over there at Walsh, the head football coach, he dropped a good one on me the other day, man, talking about from every negative comes a seed of equivalent benefit.
Wow, yeah.
Boy, I had to sit there and think about that, man. You can use that in a lot of different situations. All right, the lefty rips it in there. That'll be a strike. So Keeveman had a couple nice plate appearances here for the Knights throughout this ball game. I think I got him charted here as scoring a run. Fires another one in there. That's going to be strike 2. Boy, again, from our vantage point, I know we've seen a couple. That kind of looked like they were outside, maybe a little high and off the plate, but
I do think it's our angle. Because he's been consistent. I think
it's always nice when you can be right over top of the dish, but we're a little offset here to the right, but nonetheless, great facility, great day for baseball. Appreciate everybody joining us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. I've had a bunch of you jumping in and out all afternoon, chiming in, talking, joining myself and Jamie Fausnight here on the broadcast. Appreciate all of our partners, Hilscher Clark Electric Company and the Eagles FOE 190. We'll rattle off a couple more here after this pitch. 1-2 count. Keeveman fires it. They're going to say that number 11, Garofalo, was able to hold off of that, so that'll be a 2-2 count. Also want to make sure we mention our friends over at H&H Truck Parts. Check them out at hhtruckparts.com or call them at 216-642-4540. Located up in Valley View. I know we've got some of our truck drivers listening out there. You're looking for a reman differential, reman transmission. They are the best in the business. Number one purchaser of Eaton Fuller parts in the state of Ohio. Garofalo.
Missed opportunity. The Tigers should have a guy on second right now. That booted ball, he needed to go, he needed to move.
So Garofalo gets rang up by the relief pitcher, Jordan Kievman.
Now they're double play away from being out of it. You know, that guy has to move.
So 1 out for the Knights here in the top of the 7th, leading 6-0. And that ball is going to go over top. And the Tigers will get off the schneid, and they'll get their first run of the game as Page is able to get across home on the pass ball, and Stitt able to advance to second base. So we got a 6-1 ball game here with 1 out in the top of the 7th. And speaking of 7, number 7, Chase Duplain, is your batter, the 6'1 senior at the plate, facing a 1-0 count. So as we kind of see the sun peeking down behind Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium behind us, a little chill in the air outside. And again, we want to also thank all of our presenting sponsors. Again, Hilscher Clark Electric Company and Eagles FOE 190. These broadcasts also brought to you in part by Leathernecks Nation MC, Finally Here Ohio.com, Spirit of Stark, Simon Says Promotion, Lindsay's Pizza, McNeil & Sons Tree Service, and CH Vallis and Associates. Please go out there and patronize our sponsors. They do a great job for us. Do a great job for them. 1-1 count for Duplain. Hoban with 1 out here in the top of the 7th, leading 6-1. Kievman in relief for Browning. Lets it loose, and that'll be a fouled off. Moving it to 1-2. Stitt on second. On deck is your 9-hitter in the lineup, Xavier Hamid. And swinging there is Duplain. Catcher dropped it, so he's going to fire it down to first. And that'll be your second out. Right. So here we go. Down to the final out.
2 out Lightning.
District championship. Get the Lightning going.
Let's go, man. It's never over.
What'd you do back in Little League? You flipped the hat inside out or something?
Yeah, the rally caps and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Xavier Hamid to the plate for the Tigers. Down to their final out here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium.
Well, you got to do those kind of things with little kids because they get down by 1 run and they think it's over.
Hey, I just pass the hat. That man, we're gonna get some ice cream afterwards.
That loosens things up. It lets them think they still have a chance.
Kievman dealing across the dish there. It'll be an 0-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Listen, man, all I know is when we flipped that hat and they started dropping some money in it, that meant we were going to Dairy Queen. I was getting a little sprinkles on top of that ice cream cone, man. Got to get a W, though, if you want your ice cream here today. Yeah. Kievman going to look to get Hoban.
Ooh, nice off-speed pitch. He was way in front of that.
0-2 count facing Xavier Hamid. Kievman looking to get this Hoban Knight team into next week's regionals. Looking pretty good here now. Tigers down to their last out, facing an 0-2 count. Kievman lets it loose. Chopper, and that'll roll foul. That was the other thing, too, about some of those old fields there, partner. Sometimes you get that thing stuck on the line. They could roll back in as it was kind of coming back towards first. Don't have that anymore here with these nice surfaces. And I know a lot of different companies out there that provide these surfaces. I know that one in the area that's done North Canton, that's done Jackson. I don't know if they did this or not, but I know that they also did Lake Center Christians, the Vasco Group. Vasco Group does a phenomenal job.
I want to come do my yard so I don't have to mow. Look how pretty it was.
Rang him
there
up.
You go.
Kievman sits down, Xavier Hamid, and that's all she wrote here for the Massillon Tigers. And again, we tip our cap to them. Washington Tigers having a great season here, able to advance to the district championship game. Not a ton of great history for Massillon in the postseason baseball tournament, but able to advance here this year. Not able to get it done here today. They're going to lose 6-1 to Archbishop Hoban. And we'll give a special shout out here to Coach Carmichael, who's got his group rolling here now. Strong program. Things they've done here over the last couple of years. Not only a state championship in basketball, you got state championships in football. and they're looking to add another state championship in baseball. Shout out to athletic director up there, Coach Timmy T-Roll, and everything that he's been able to accomplish. So this Hoban Knights baseball group going to advance to the regional semifinal next week, as we see a little bit of love, a little bit of dap there going through the lines. Everybody showing good signs of sportsmanship. And, well, partner, I guess before we start to wrap this thing up here, who do we look at as our Hilscher Clark Electric Company performer?
I'm in camp Landon Browning.
Camp Browning? Okay.
Yeah, it was impressive performance.
6 innings.
It was impressive performance.
Made it to 7. Took him out when there was no outs, but I'll tell you what, yes.
Mixed up pitches the whole time. And like you said, and he wasn't an overpowering monster. He was a placement pitcher. His fielders, made plays. Nobody tanked one in the gap in the outfield. The kids put it in play where the fielders could make plays on it. That's my choice.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hilscher Clark Electric Company, your electric performer of the game today. Landon Browning, the junior pitcher, getting it done for Archbishop Hoban, leading his group in a 6-1 effort, defeating the Tigers and heading to the regional semis. We're going to keep this screen active here. We're going to let you guys kind of pick up some of the feed coming down there as we have some of our championship presentations. You get your runner-up trophy for the Massillon Tigers, and then they will present Archbishop Hoban, the Knights, with their district championship. We're going to kind of wrap things up here. We're going to head down to the field, get a hold of our guy Landon Browning, talk with him here a little bit. But one more time before we sign off, I want to give a special shout out again to Hilscher Clark Electric Company. Check them out online, hilscher-clark.com. Also, Eagles FOE 190 in downtown Massillon. Check out their website, eagles190.com. Go ahead, sign up with them, be a part of a great fraternity for only $24 a year. Be a part of a great group, great food specials, drink specials, the banquet and event center that they have over there. Check them out, man. Great group of people over at the Eagles FOE 190. I am now an official card-carrying member. Love those guys over there and all they do for us here at Stark Media. Also, our friends at CH Vallis and Associates. Call them at 330-494-2776 for all your home, auto, life, and financial service needs. McNeil & Sons Tree Service. If you got those trees getting a little bit too close to your house, before you got to call your insurance company, call McNeil & Sons Tree Service at 330-606-1126. They'll come and assess your property and leave it in better shape than it was before. H&H Truck Parts. All of our truck drivers out there, leaders in the parts business. They can also service your equipment in one of their 6 bays in Valley View, hhtruckparts.com. The number to call is 216-642-4540. They are the leaders in drivetrain specialty parts. They can service, balance, whatever you need. Resurface your flywheel while you're there. Best transmissions and differentials in the game. Our guys at H&H Truck Parts. Call Lindsay's Pizza tonight. You're looking for pizza, chicken, salads, strombolis, calzones, whatever it might be. The preferred post-game pizza of the Stark Media team is Lindsay's Pizza. Lindsay'sPizza.com. Check them out. They are in the Hillsdale Shopping Center on Whipple. 330-477-3800. Contact John Lindsay and go get the best pizza and chicken out there tonight. Our friends at Simon Says Promotion, Spirit of Stark, Leatherneck's Nation MC, and finally HereOhio.com. Appreciate you guys for all you do. Partner, I'm getting hungry too, man. I start talking about stromboli and calzones.
I'm dying to try that breakfast pizza. I was counting carbs when they brought it over in the wintertime. I am not doing so well. Yeah, I'm not doing so well with the carbs.
My man rolled up. I know our guy Jimmy Bostic, he was enjoying some of that chow, man. But I'll take if you haven't had a breakfast pizza, you got to try it, man. It is phenomenal. You can get whatever you want on it. It's got the egg, ham, bacon, peppers, mushrooms. You can go any route with that thing, man. Try it. Contact Lindsay's Pizza, 477-3800. All right, partner. Signing off, man. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate everybody that tuned into us here today on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel for the Tigers, for the Hoban Knights, who will be advancing. Great performance by both teams. Knights able to get it done with a 6-1 victory, and our Hilscher Clark electric performer of this game, your starting pitcher for Coach Derek Carmichael and his group, the Knights, Landon Browning, the junior pitcher. Got it done today. He is our Hilscher Clark Electric Company performer of the game. For TJ Downing, myself, Jamie Fausnight, we appreciate you guys. We'll catch you here again next time on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Catch us Saturday morning over at Perry High School. Have a great evening, everyone.
Number 6, Tyler Hackenbrown. Number 8, Matt McGeorge. Number 21, Brock Palilli. Number 2, Drew Stitt. Number 4, Christian Marsh. Number 9, Luke McGeorge. Number 7, Chase Duplain. Number 1, Xavier Hamid. Will the captains for Massillon please come forward for the presentation of the team trophy? Congratulations, district runner-up, Massillon Tigers. And now the 2023 district champion in Division 1, the Akron Hoban Knights. Number 1, Grady Falkenstein. Number 2, Grady Carzola. Number 3, Jack Stevens. Number 5, Tanner Carson. Number 8, Will Gibbons. Number 12, Colin Coyne. Number 13, Luke Driscoll. Number 14, Noah LaFine. Number 17, Owen Turner. Number 19, Ryan Burns. Number 20, Joe Stock. Number 25, Justice Buckner. Andrew Hawes. Number 4. Number 15, Parker Falkenstein. Number 22, Andrew Karhoff. Number 9, Jordan Keedman. Number 23, Michael Chevalier. Number 11, Nate Schimmel. Number 21, Zach Zimmerman. Number 7, Leo Wilson. Number 24, Landon Browning. Number 6, Masood Jennings. Number 28, Blake Bantam. Will the captains for the Knights please come forward for the presentation of the team trophy by T.K. Griffin, Principal of Hoban. Once again, congratulations to the Akron Hoban Knights who will advance to the regional semifinal at Hoban College's Dale Field next Thursday. Thanks to the staff here at Thurman Munson Memorial Stadium and tournament manager Ed Rafus and his staff for serving as a host for the district championship. Thank you for your attendance and support for the Ohio High School student athletes. And please travel home safely.